Preloved Chica, passion for fashion. Hi everyone and welcome to the Preloved Chica show. Now this Saturday is incredible. I have found my dream person to have on the show. I've got with me Sherry Pavlovich, also known as Confessions of a Refashionista. And let me tell you, Sherry has got an amazing blog where there's so much information about so many things. But today, Sherry is going to be talking to us about vintage. Sherry, how are you doing?
Fantastic. Hello.
Oh, you're doing really well. And of course, you're all the way over there in Berlin. I'm in the UK. Don't you wish we were a bit closer?
I wish we were in the same city so we could hang out and go thrifting every single day.
I know. We would. There'd be no stopping us. The thrift stores would be empty. Anyway, now listen. One of the things that we're going to talk about today is vintage. And I know you know so much about it. I'm just starting on this journey. So tell me what we're going to talk about today, Sherry.
Well, I would like to start out by sharing my top 3 tips for thrifting vintage. So for spotting it at the thrift store, you know, when you're going through the racks and sometimes you pick something out and it looks like, oh, that might be from the 1960s. But then you look at the label and it's from a fast fashion store.
Right.
You know, not cool.
Right.
So should we just dive right in?
Let's just go for it. Let's just
Alrighty.
throw ourselves in. Go.
Okay, so my first tip is about fabrics. Right. Now for me, probably because I was born in the 1970s, but for me, vintage kind of is the 1970s and older. Right?
Is there something about the vintage? Is if it's 20 years old, it's vintage, or is that not right?
It is, and that makes me very sad.
It makes me feel very old.
It's awful. But what I'm talking about today are things from the 1970s and older and how to spot them.
Okay.
And one of the main things is fabrics, because a lot of the times I've found anything kind of mid-1970s and older has either a very, very thick fabric, like polyester, or it's very, very light fabric, like lots of silks and almost sheer fabrics.
Right.
In very, very bright colors and bright patterns, you know, almost blinding, or older fabrics tend to be really neutral, like the 1930s, 40s, 50s. That was more of the style back then.
Okay. So feeling the fabric. So you'd first of all pick something up and touch it and get an idea of what it feels like.
Absolutely, yeah, and what patterns are on it, but it's really either very, very light or very, very heavy. There didn't really seem to be much of a middle ground in the kind of 1970s and older type of fabrics.
Yes.
So here's a very good example. This dress is actually from 1938.
1938.
And,
wow.
1938, yes, and it's all hand beaded.
Oh my God.
And I did refashion it because it was quite damaged. But on to my next tip here.
Right.
The zippers.
Okay.
Are always a good clue. Metal zippers did not actually get invented until the 1930s.
I see. Wow.
And
Can
then
you put that zip in a bit closer to the camera? Let's have a really close look. Okay, I've got it. And quite delicate as well. Almost quite delicate. Yeah.
It is. This was actually, you can actually tell it was all hand stitched together.
Right.
So metal zippers are another really good clue for the age of an item. Right. Plastic zippers actually did not become invented until the mid-1970s, early 80s is when they were commonly found in clothing. So anything that has those type of metal zippers is usually 1930s to 1960s, early 70s.
I'm with you. Yeah. Interesting.
So that's a very, very, very good tip.
I tell you what, I'm going to go straight after we've spoken today. I'm going to go out and see if I can find something vintage with a metal zip now.
And even more so, see here's that very airy fabric. I was just going to say luftiges because I'm forgetting my English and German is coming out now. That nice light airy fabric in a very bright print.
And the sleeves as well. That's a bit of a giveaway, isn't it, with those sleeves?
It's absolutely. But even more of a giveaway, the label.
Oh, hold it down a little way because I can't see the top of it. Oh, wow. Shopping Erfolg. Woo.
Shopping Erfolg means good, lucky shopping in German.
Oh, that is such a beautiful label. Isn't it?
And tags and labels are your other clue because they actually didn't start appearing in clothes until the 1940s and 50s.
Right.
And then all they really were was like the signature of the designer or maybe the brand name, but there was no sizes, nothing like what we see today. Right. And then it wasn't until the 70s that sizes started appearing. And then the mid 70s to 80s, fabric content was then added along with the brand name and the size. And from the mid 80s on are pretty much the labels that we see today that are in multiple languages and care instructions. And, you know, you have a garment with like 25 different labels stuck in it nowadays.
I know, they're complicated. So that's a giveaway then, that you know that's going to be more, you know, up to date. So if anyone's got an item of clothing and they're not sure about whether it's vintage, take a picture of the label and send it to Sherry. I'm sure you'll be really happy to curate those labels and try and work out.
For sure.
It's the difference between clothes where they're made in different parts of the world, you know, like in America, because I know you're Canadian. Any difference, you know, there with the labels compared to, let's say, Europe?
Not really. It really wouldn't have been till about the 1970s where perhaps a label might have said made in the USA, you know, the old American pride type of thing. But again, that was more, that's called a union label. Right. So it was actually part of the brand.
I'm with you.
Yeah. But other than that, I mean, Shopping Erfolg, there you go. That label's in German. So you can pretty much guarantee that was made in Germany in the 1970s.
Wow. That is so incredible. So we've got 3 great tips there.
Yeah.
The fabric, the zips, and the labels.
And again, very easy to remember. You know, I mean, it's not like if you forget one, you still got 2 more floating around in your head when you're going through those racks. And again, another really, really easy tip, check the seams. Like I said, that dress that in the 1930s that was made, it's 100% handmade. If you can tell the difference between hand stitching and machine stitching.
Wow.
Right? That's very easy. And zigzag machines didn't really become the mainstream again until the mid 1970s when they were available for home use.
Right.
So a lot of clothing that was pre mid 70s is the interior seams are straight stitched or they're hand stitched.
Right.
And then, you know, like the serge stitch, which finishes the seams in the modern clothing. Again, that was like mid 1980s to the present.
Right. So turn that item inside out is what you're saying?
That's what I do.
So that's the history. Turn it inside out, check the label, check the way it's all been constructed.
Yeah.
Great. Wow. So that is a really good series of tips. So thank you, Sherry. And I know you've got a few other things you want to talk about today, don't you? Let's tell me more.
I do. First, let's talk about what I'm wearing.
Right.
Awesome.
That looks like some designer outfit that you've spent a lot of money on.
Oh, doesn't it look like it, darling? No, actually, this is a bathrobe from the 1970s that I got for €1 at the charity shop.
Really?
Yes. And I really, really love the fabrics and the patterns from the 1970s. Again, I think it's because that's when I was born. So all I've done here to make this into a cute little frock is taken the belt, wrapped it around my
Come a bit closer. Come a bit closer so we can see.
There we go.
A bit of feedback, but
there's the belt. And then all I did was pull the robe up over top of the belt to get it to the length I wanted. And now it looks like a cute little twin set that I'm wearing and not a 1970s bathrobe.
Wow. Wow. Is it, what's the material? Is it kind of soft to the touch, or is it's not toweling? Is it, it's more like a...
No, it's not. It's actually polyester. I mean, I guess it's not so much a bathrobe as what they would call a house coat.
Oh, yeah.
You know, what possibly our grandmothers would have not really lounged about the house in, but, you know, done the housework in.
That is such a cute thing you've done there. And that's like, because I know what you're all about. You've got lots of tips for people about how to create things without sewing, you know, because I'm not a sewer.
No, I've only been sewing for less than 4 years.
Wow.
So yeah, my big thing was always, you know, you see something in the store and it's a bit too big for you and you just think, I don't want to take that to a tailor and spend how much money. So here's my next tip. You have a dress that is maybe, you know, it's a bit too big. So what you want to do is simply take a brooch, gather the back and clip it with a brooch. And then you have, you know, a nice fitted waist and an extra detail on the back of the dress. And this works best with lighter fabrics, obviously. And all it does here, it just gives a nice gather to the back of the dress as well.
Wow, that is a fantastic tip. Do you know, I know that you have got so many more tips like this, and I cannot believe that our 10 minutes has gone like that. It's crazy.
I know, that's crazy, yeah. I have over 500 tutorials on my blog. So.
I know. And that's what I want to tell people about. Listen, if you're interested in what Sherry's been talking about today, go and check her blog, because I've looked at so much stuff and I've only scratched the surface. You know, you do a blog post a day. You've got tutorials, you've got videos. Oh, tell me what else you've got on there.
Lots of ethical and sustainable fashion information. That's my passion project. And actually why I started doing this in the first place, because, you know, I really do care about how my clothes are made and where my clothes are made and who is making my clothes. So there's a whole section on my blog, Ethical Fashion Info, as well as 500 tutorials or over 500 tutorials for men, women, kids, the house, and it's all refashioning and upcycling. So if you don't sew, it doesn't matter. If you do sew, it's so great. If you have power tools, wonderful. You know, we made a playhouse for our daughter out of an old bed. That's on there.
Well, all I'm going to say is, for me, discovering your blog post was like finding some incredible treasure. So I urge people to go and check it out. And let me see now, the actual blog post is awesomesauceasshattery.com.
Yes, awesomesauceasshattery.com.
What a name.
Because there's both things there. You got your awesome sauce mixed in with a bit of ass hattery at the same time.
So I'll put all the links down below, and Sherry and I are talking about doing some more work together. So I hope you'll come back and join us again. And till next time, just please, if you can, subscribe to my channel, like the video, add your comments too. Tell me about the things that you've got. I'd love to hear from you. And Sherry, thanks so much again for coming on this show today. I really appreciate it.
You're very welcome, and I can't wait to do it again. I have so many ideas going in my little DIY diva brain.
I know you do. All right, then. I'm saying goodbye now, but till next time, everyone. Bye.
Cheers. Bye.